Let's make it simple. Let's forget about the example of Khyentse Rinpoche, because I saw that. Let's forget about that. If your guru tells you to do the sadhana, and you say, I won't do it because I'm busy at work, there you go. Where's your Dharma practice? Especially if you take in tantric commitments. Where's your Dharma practice? What's the example you show people? What's the example you show yourself? And what's the habituation you are implanting yourself? What? If your Dharma activity becomes less because of worldly activity, because so-called you have a Dharma motivation, no, absolutely not. Definitely not. So we have to think. We have to challenge our self-cherishing mind. I give you these words, I give you what I'm telling you because I saw the example of my own guru. It is not something I read. I saw with my own eyes. And I asked Khyentse Rinpoche, why like that? Well, Khyentse Rinpoche made it very simple. My guru, the Dalai Lama, told me to do this, so I'm going to do it. I said, but Khyentse Rinpoche, you're diabetic, you're high blood pressure, you're 70 plus years old. How are you going to fit, all this into 24 hours a day? He says, I don't know, but I'll manage it because Dalai Lama said so I'm going to do it. So I said, you're going to teach 5 classes. Each class is about an hour, hour and a half. And you're going to do your personal meditations. And you're going to do the Yamataka retreat. He says, yes, most people do 4 sessions of Yamataka retreats per day. I'll just do 2 or 1. I said, but that's going to take you double the time. He says, if it takes me double the time, it takes me double the time. But that's His Holiness's orders. I said, well, why don't you talk to him? He says, there is nothing to talk. I asked, His Holiness gave me the instruction. I follow. I kept quiet. I kept quiet because I saw a Buddhist master. And I saw Guru devotion. And I saw someone who has no self-cherishing mind. And His Eminence Khyentse Rinpoche finished 100 million Yamataka mantras in 3 years, record time. On half the time he had as other people. And you know what was the result? When he finished his Yamataka retreat, do you know what happened? He did fire puja for 1 month because he had to do 100,000 fire pujas. He did it so much that his hands swelled up, it pussed, and he was in the hospital for 2 weeks getting surgery after he finished Yamataka. He wasn't even angry. He says, I am so happy this happened. He was in the hospital like this. Because I was just leaving from Malaysia, he gave me initiation in the hospital with his arm like that. His arm was pussed up, his arm was cut, it was pussing. I had to change it, And they had to put it in, I don't know what you call that, the thing to suspend it. What is that called? A sling to suspend. He was in the hospital in Hubli like this, with his arm swollen, with pus coming out from doing Yamataka, without ever giving himself a break. And you know what? His hypertension shot up, and his diabetic all shot up. His feeling was going away here. His eyes was becoming fuzzy. All the symptoms because he wasn't taking care of himself. And he was sitting in the hospital like this with me on the floor, receiving initiation from him to prepare to go to Malaysia. And I said to Rinpoche, how do you feel? He says, very happy. I said, why? He says, because I can purify all this karma. After I finished Yamataka, my arm swelled up. All the pus came out. I'm in the hospital. He said, I am so happy. His Holiness is so kind to me. I said, why? He says, because I'm manifesting this karma now before I die, and I have to suffer it out in another life or in the 3 lower realms. I cried. I couldn't stop crying because I thought, if you have this much negative karma, how about me? Oh, I couldn't stop crying. I saw this with my own eyes. He was in a hospital because of his retreat. Any of us here end up in a hospital after retreat, you know how much bitching we'll do? We will send people to kill Tsem Rinpoche. Oh yes. This is the kind of mental attitude a real Buddhist has. And when someone like that gives us Hiruka, Vajrayogini, Yamataka, Chitamani Tara initiation, if someone like that, of that caliber, gives us any of the higher tantric initiation, tells us to do our sadhanas and practices, and we don't, nothing will be successful in our life. Nothing. Because you are going against a Buddhist master who is attained, who is a living Yamataka. Am I saying that to make you feel bad? No, I'm telling you what I base my teachings on, what I read and what I saw. So I don't simply teach. I don't simply just talk. I base it on real live evidence. And I saw the mind. So imagine Khyentse Rinpoche doing 6 hours of sadhanas per day. 6 hours. That's his personal meditations, all right? Plus he does prostrations every day. Every day Khyentse Rinpoche does 50 prostrations. It takes him forever because he's old. He does 50 prostrations a day. Every day he does about 100 water offerings. Do you know he has this shaking? I don't know what it's called. Your nerves are off, so he shakes. When he makes water offerings, in fact, part of the water bowl is filled, part of it is not filled. It's messy, it's all over. So after he finishes, we go there and we wipe it up for him. He doesn't see it too well because he's old. So he makes his water offerings like this. And the water goes all over but in the bowl. But because his intention is there and he makes that effort, the merit is much greater than if I did it perfectly. I saw it with my own eyes. And he does 50 prostrations a day. Then he does his meditations for 6 hours. Then he gives teachings all day to his students. 400 to 500 students per day he gives teachings, because I'm there, I serve his tea. And then after he finishes, he engages in dinner, he takes a little rest, and then he goes into his meditation on Yamataka until late in the night. And then when he finishes Yamataka, he does his prostrations. After he finishes prostrations, then he goes to sleep. And he wakes up, it's like that. 3 years, 3 months, 3 days. I saw. I lived there. I provided the house. I was the sponsor. I provided food. I was the cook. I was the cleaner. I was there. I saw it. And when he finished, when this was happening, he was in the hospital. He was swollen. He was infected. He was sick from pushing himself so much. He was happy because he said he purified his karma. And he never went to His Holiness and reported, I was in the hospital. I had this problem, nothing. I was there. He reported His Holiness, I finished my retreat as you instructed, and I never cut out on the teachings. And His Holiness asked, and what did you observe? What dream? Blah, 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 blah. And Rinpoche reported he didn't complain about any hardships he went through. None. And he reported to His Holiness, I saw. And I know that kind of mind I know the Buddha mind is real. And I know that the Buddha motivation and the Buddha effort is real because I saw it in my Guru. I saw it in my Guru. And therefore, I have no doubt I can achieve that state of mind because someone in this world achieved it, my Guru. Khyentse Rinpoche. So I know to have selflessness is possible. To adjust our time to benefit others is possible. To do retreats and practices is possible. And to have effort and concentration is possible. And never to complain about hardships and difficulty is possible because I saw my Guru do it. I was there. So if anybody tells me it's impossible, I will debate till my last breath. It is possible if you want it. So if he has reached this state of mind, why can't I? And I'm not speaking arrogantly. I'm speaking in the sense if he's encouraged me. He showed me the way. By his example. On top of being a pure, infallible monk of the Shakya order, Shakyamuni. On top of being a Geshe Hlarampa, professor of the Buddhist studies and Sutra and Tantra of the highest class where he got his degree in Tibet by His Holiness himself. On top of being that. And he's been a monk for the last 60 years. That's still alive now and still available in this world. There are masters like that. So if anybody tells me they can't, they don't have time, they don't, forget it. I will never believe it. Never. That type of mind is available. And if any of us or some of us has had the honor to be taking refuge or had received initiation or blessings or have had an audience with this master, Khyentse Rinpoche, if you are not attained, it is your fault. It is purely your fault. If you are still in samsara, still getting angry, it is your fault. Because you have witnessed someone who can be enlightened. And you have witnessed someone who is giving you the most supreme practice. And if you don't do it, it's your own fault. If you failed, it's your fault. It's not anybody else's. And that's how I feel about myself. That's why I don't let myself fail. That's why I don't give up. I can't blame anybody. Ultimately, I can't blame anybody because I saw my gurus. And they had much more hardship than me. Much, much, much more. So that type of mind is definitely we definitely can cultivate that kind of mind. Strength, consistency, stability, focus. We can definitely cultivate that mind because I saw it cultivated. And it isn't just one master. There are many, many masters. Gen Nima Rinpoche, His Holiness Kabjalati Rinpoche. I've seen it over and over and over in Ganden Monastery. The minds that was cultivated through practice. I saw. That's why anybody can debate with me, oh, I get angry, I can't control myself. It's not that you can't control yourself. You don't want to control yourself. You don't want to. Oh, I slipped again. You didn't slip. You let yourself slip. That's the truth. Oh, I can't achieve this. I can't do this. My bad habit keeps coming up. It's all selfish mind coming up. It's all BS. Because I saw it in Ganden. Why is it that these group of people can do it and we can't? So that's why I work hard. I teach. I put my effort towards it. Why? So that to let you know it is possible. And when I teach and I explain things to you, I don't explain to you to convert you. I explain to you because I saw it possible with my own eyes. Very simple. Very, very simple. And if you keep debating with me that you can't, you will never win me over. You'll only run away and hide within yourself. Why? Because it is possible. People have achieved it. I've seen it. Not once, not twice, over and over. That's why I respect Ganden Monastery. That's why I support Ganden Monastery. That's why I work hard towards Ganden Monastery, here and there. Here, working hard toward Ganden Monastery is giving teachings, establishing this, and finding sponsors, and talking to people, and pushing myself, and all that stuff. Why? How do I spread Ganden Monastery here? Because Ganden is a state of mind. Ganden is a state of mind. So if I work hard here to spread the state of mind, there can be a Ganden here in Malaysia, in all of us. So where does that come from? From me not giving up and working hard and pushing, even when people feel I cannot. Doesn't matter. Because whatever people feel, the blessings of my Guru and my Dharma protector is much more than their doubts. People who believe I cannot, people who don't want to get involved, people who stay away, people who wait till I make it and then they get involved. It's too sad for them because they don't have commitment to their Guru and their Dharma protector. I have half the abilities all of you have, but I can do things because of my pure faith in my Guru and my Dharma protector. That's all. I have half the abilities of all of you. Half the education, everything half. Most likely have. I didn't even finish school. So why am I sitting on the throne teaching you Dharma? Why? Not because I'm an elite master, because I put the effort in. So similarly, we all can be. We all can be. Don't make excuses for yourself. Don't make excuses that you can't. Don't make excuses that you don't have time, you have other commitments, or when you finish this, or when this happens, when that happens. Nothing in samsara is guaranteed and for sure. Nothing can work. Nothing can be planned. Nothing can be scheduled. Everything is not in your control. So the materials we use for statues, offering bowls, stupas, decorations, the materials we use do not have intrinsic value. It is imputed. Since it is imputed intrinsic value and we operate on a relative level, then if we spend more for gold to offer onto something, we collect more merit. If we do not have imputed intrinsic attachment to the value of objects, if we offer stainless steel to the Buddha or gold, then there's no difference at all. Therefore, in high meditation masters' huts and retreat places, you will say, well, look, His Holiness so-and-so offers clay offering bowls to the Buddhas. Why can't I? Because he's enlightened and you're not. Well, why is it that high masters don't do that and I'm supposed to follow their example? What? And they're all using, aluminum bowls, so I want to follow his example because it's His Holiness, blah, 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 blah. How silly of you. He has no attachment to intrinsic imputed value of an object. Therefore, whatever he offers is the value of gold. Whereas we have attachment and grasping toward imputed intrinsic value of things. Because we have attachment, if we offer aluminum, we get the merit of aluminum. Very simple. What you offer and how you offer is based on your attachment. So in order to counter that attachment, one method, very careful, one method is to offer things of value that you ordinarily would dare not, because you don't see direct benefit. So therefore, in the Tibetan practices, because, now listen carefully, in the Tibetan practices, where in Tibet, in the beginning, offerings and objects of offerings were sparse. Therefore, the offering objects that contain the offerings, we made it more beautiful, and we made it more intricate and more expensive. In Tibet, when offering objects were sparse, then the objects used, or the containers used for the offerings, became more beautiful and more intricate and more fabulous. Why? Because the objects themselves were very sparse, not easy to get. For example, one great offering object in Tibet was water. You like, offer water. In Malaysia, you say, offer water. What's the big deal? Because water is nothing. Here, maybe if you offer milk, it's fabulous. But you see, in Tibet, milk was not easy. Tea was not easy. Tea leaves were not easy. Unless you were rich, you're not able to get tea leaves. The only thing people had were water. So if they offer water, just water, it doesn't collect much merit. How about those very rich people who had plenty of water? Like everybody has water. Water's free. What's the big deal? So for those people who can use their wealth to bring benefit to others, they use their wealth. Instead of using a ceramic cup to offer water, they use a silver cup to offer water. You understand that? So the best grade of offerings is like this, from this level. Clay. Next one is copper. The next one is silver. And the next one is gold. That is the division of classifications of offering containers to be used in merits. I mean, if you have to put it into a direction. Clay, porcelain, those type of things are made from the ground. Copper is the next one that's best up. Next one after that is silver. The next one after that is gold. So if you're going to offer simply water, the object from the water doesn't collect you much merit, but the container collects you merit. Why? Because instead of using it for silver bowls, you could have used it for a new car. You could have used it for a nice, a trip to Hawaii or Tahiti or Japan. But instead of using that trip, you sacrifice your trip that you don't get direct pleasure into an offering bowl, which you offer to the Buddha using just simply water. When you do that every single day, the value of that grows and grows and grows. Because why? This represents your sacrifice. This represents your direction. This represents your correct focus on what really brings you happiness. What really brings you happiness is merit generated in conjunction with the 3 jewels, as opposed to direct pleasure of going on a trip. So you collect more merit using precious objects. You collect more merit using precious objects, A, on a relative level, because of the sacrifice. Instead of using it for something that's samsaric, you use it for something that's non-samsaric. B, because ordinarily the things we offer to the 3 jewels are very basic substances. Then the objects, the containers we use them in becomes extraordinary, holding the basic substances, which increases the merit. 3, you see, this could have been something, this could have been a piece of jewelry you wore. This could have been something beautiful you wore, and you can show off, and you can impress people, pick up girls, or whatever, But instead, you put it in front of the Buddhas. What do you get, for God's sakes? You go out there, you don't wear silver. So for you to become detached to objects that have imputed intrinsic value, you cut that detachment. And 4, when you offer valuable objects to the 3 jewels, you collect the base karmic causes for you to obtain wealth in this life and future lives. Why? By offering wealth, you collect the merits of getting wealth. Now, the type of wealth you get back in this life and future lives, whether it's lasting or not, depends on your motivation in making this offerings to the 3 jewels. Example, in order that my parents live long and I get a good job and I have a happy life, I offer you silver bowls. Offer this in temple for me every day. That's karma. So once you get your beautiful girlfriend, once your parents has a long life, it doesn't help you in your next life anymore. The value is gone. I offer these silver bowls to Kichara house, and they use it every day to offer to Shakyamuni, and the value, and what I've offered every single day, I dedicated that all sentient beings may be free from suffering, illusion, delusion, and may I become someone that can benefit them tremendously, may I become a Buddha. And every single day when they offer these bowls, the merits generated will go towards that, and it will not stop till you become a Buddha, and you'll have long life, and you'll have a wonderful girlfriend, and you'll have a good job. Why? Because the lower motivations are included with the top motivation. Where if you make a motivation here, none of this is included. If you make a motivation here, all this is included. And why does this have power? Because you are offering this to something that you ordinarily would not channel towards because of your own miserliness and greediness and attachment to imputed intrinsic value of things that do not have intrinsic value. Intrinsic value meaning something we impute to have, but it's not actually existing. Therefore, greed is based on imputed intrinsic value of material objects. Miserliness is having intrinsic imputed value of money. And those who are very attached and their imputation is very heavy, they're the ones that actually go to the 3 lower realms. Even if they don't do any negative karma, they don't kill, they don't steal, just holding their money and not using anything for it will be the causes for them to go to the 3 lower realms or to be born in a state where they're extremely miserly or a spirit. Why? They say, but I'm not doing anything. Yes, you're not. Physically and overtly. But subtly, you're holding on. And this subtle holding on is more powerful than overtly doing it. So people who don't kill, don't smoke, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, they don't do anything. But they hold on to the money. They don't share. They're very calculative. They just hold on like this, like this, like this. They collect very negative karma. Why? Because on a subtle and on the most subtle level, they are grasping at imputed intrinsic value of something that does not. So they make their samsara deeper and deeper. And those type of people, they become more miserly, more greedy, more close, more. And if you look at these people, no matter how much wealth they have, they can never ever share it and they can never enjoy it. They reach the point where they can't even spend it on themselves or the people they love. Because why? Holding on to it so tight creates the actual demerit for them to hold it on tighter. And that holding on tighter makes them lose it all. Does everybody understand? So the demerit we collect doesn't have to be overt and gross. It can be a subtle type of demerit that we collect just by our mind grasping at it. So people who say, hey, I'm not doing any negative karma. I'm just holding on to my money. I'm just holding on to my things. You just look at them, you go, when the time comes, you're finished. You know why? Because they don't understand the workings of karma. They do not understand. So for those people who have very great grasping to money and wealth and holding on to their things and not spending and being very miserly, for those people, the practice of mandala is very important. The practice of mandala, the practice of generosity, the practice of giving towards the Dharma is very, very important. Why? Because when they do that, they cut the very causes for them to have attachment towards their wealth and simultaneously create the merit to have more wealth in the future. Wealth that is shared and benefiting others, not only yourself. Does everybody understand that? So offering precious objects is on an ultimate level, listen carefully, offering expensive precious items, whether it's gold on the Buddha statue, jewelry on the Buddha statue, brocade, or making offerings to one's lama, building temples, sponsoring Dharma books, any of these type of giving. When we offer on the highest motivation, we are directly cutting into imputed intrinsic attachment of objects. That's very deep. When you cut that, that is your grasping at a very subtle level at objects. When you cut that, you will see the very causes for you to have no material objects will be removed completely. So when you use precious objects to offer to the Buddhas on a very subtle and deep level, you are cutting away at the self-grasping I. Why? Having imputation on intrinsic value of things that don't have value on their own is not intrinsic. It's only imputed. Helps to serve your self-cherishing mind, which does not exist. Does everybody understand that? Fabulous, isn't it? Something that shuts you up finally. That's right. Stick around, there's more. Buddhism isn't about mysteries and all that. It goes very deep. Yes, you're convinced. Another slave, welcome. And then on a mediocre level, when you offer very valuable things, on a very mediocre level, you create the very causes for you never to have poverty again. Never. And then on a very rough, gross level, you make the Dharma grow, you make the needs of Dharma grow, you make the needs of Dharma farers and Dharma practitioners and potential Dharma people grow, because you provide the facilities and the necessities for people to come and engage in Dharma. So on 3 levels, you benefit. On a gross level, on a medium level, and on an ultimate level. So if we can do and give and sponsor and help on an ultimate level, you are cutting away at grasping of self-cherishing mind. Why? Because one branch of it, imputation, is cut. Imputation. Xingpiao, imputation. Imputation, Mr. Kong? No, I want a Mandarin, thank you. I speak English. Help. We come up with different definitions. He comes up with one, he comes up with one, help. Imputation means something that doesn't exist, but we think it exists. But when we remove the causes, we actually see it doesn't exist. That is called imputation. We're going toward the teachings of emptiness, by the way, on that. That's why it's very difficult. We need to do prostrations, we need to do retreats to understand it very clearly. Questions? Oh, I love it. No one understands it enough to ask anything. Paris, I don't even understand it. What questions? It's so simple. Yes. Well, you see, the thing is this. Some people would like to make the Dharma grow because I like dedicated to their parents, dedicated to their mother. So that's a low level. If they want to, and then the next level is they have wealth, depending on the motivation to sponsor the Dharma, sponsor the Dalai Lama. That's even higher than just dedicating toward their mother, don't you think? So in that way, you can think. But that's questionable. It's okay. On the highest level is cutting out imputation. Cutting out imputation. What? Fabulous, isn't it? Are you amazed and blown away? Am I going to get another SMS praising how fabulous I am and I'm a living Buddha and all that stuff? Save it. Just practice. Any questions on what I taught? To understand it fully, to grasp it fully, and then put it into practice. Engage in purification retreats. Engage in purification practices such as prostrations, very important daily. Even every day we do 50 to 100 full length to do it. Combined with the 35 confessional Buddhas. That is the practice of Lama Tsongkhapa himself. I recommend it because Lama Tsongkhapa did that to become enlightened within the Bardo. 1. 2. To do your sadhana practices every day. If it's Tsongkhapa, if it's Manjushri, do it. 3. To make water offerings every single day as much as possible to collect merit. That is on a basic level. To study, to listen to the Dharma, to contemplate. If we do the next level, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to infer towards me, to serve our gurus. To serve our gurus in body, speech, and mind. In body, how? To hold our vows. To not use our bodies in ways that go against the vows. In our speech, in what way? In order, body, speech, mind, to use our speech to increase the Dharma within us and others. In our mind, in learning, contemplation, in thinking, and practice. And on the highest level, the best way to serve our guru is what? Doing meditations on emptiness. That's the highest level to serve the guru. To go into meditation on emptiness, which cuts the roots of samsara. But that one, we cannot engage at this time. We're not at that level. Very, very important. Tonight's teaching, some of you get it, some of you don't. Some of you say you want higher teachings. When you get it, you won't even understand it. You can't grasp it. So don't ask for higher teachings. Just ask for teachings. We can go much, much more than that. But you're going to have a headache, I promise you. Because if you understand that and you practice it, you will leave samsara. You will attain arhatship right now, at this moment, if you understand that and you attain it. Right this moment, you attain arhatship in this room. That is why it's so hard to understand. Some of you have a slight intellectual grasp to it. Some of you have this angle, some of you have this angle. There's many ways. But nobody in this room has complete understanding of that, including myself yet. So do the practices. Remember, it isn't just what I've been teaching all these months and these years that you know me. There's much, much more. And that will come in time. Create the causes for it to come. Create the causes for it to come. Do your practices. Keep your commitments. Make the Dharma grow. Be a benefit to others. Have compassion in your mind. And most important, effort and consistency. Effort and consistency. Coupled with awareness. Effort, consistency, coupled with awareness. Effort and consistency coupled with awareness. And some of us in this room, there's a few of us who all of this doesn't go in at all. It doesn't go in, they don't understand, they don't grasp at all. None of it. That is a sign of very powerful negative karma that blocks them. Very powerful. There are some people in this room, trust me, none of it went in. Not because they're not listening, not because they're not interested. The karma is not there to understand. The merit, absolutely not. It cannot go in. I promise you. I promise you. 3 people in this room that nothing went in at all what I talked about. In fact, if you talk about them the next day, you ask them, they cannot even tell you what's going on. Nothing. Not because they're not listening, not because they don't understand, not because they don't want to, not because they're bad. They don't have the merit to understand. They have not created causes and the prayers to understand that. And that can show you that just in one room, one person can speak. There's a difference. That comes from the individual, not the speaker. Therefore, we cannot see the Buddha. It's not Buddha's fault. It is our own. Oh, yes. Definitely. And the 3 people is not even a little bit, completely cannot grasp. As I said, not because they're bad. No merit at all. No practice, no holding of vows, no daily consistency. Cannot grasp even at that. And that's why they stay in samsara, because they don't even have the knowledge to leave samsara. Even when you give them the knowledge, even when you share the knowledge to them, even when you present it and you tell them in an aircon, nice room, pleasant and beautiful, everything's easy, it cannot go in their mind. Why? No merit. The causes for them to achieve enlightenment, not there. Definitely, trust me on that one. I can tell just upon sight, looking at them, just upon sight. So, is that criticism? No. That's how important it is for us to do our daily sadhanas, to listen to our teachers, to read Dharma books, and to collect merit, and very important is to do practices that purify demerit. Very, very important. Last night I had this morning I had a wonderful dream. I had a dream I was walking down a forest, a very big forest, and there was a paved road right through the forest. This was all green, and it was so many trees that the trees overlapped above me as if I was walking in a tunnel of trees. And then on this side of the road, there was drainage ditches. So if you walk from here, the drainage ditch was maybe like from here to around like to there. And it was very deep. It's for, water to go in there. And then beyond that is the forest. And I'm walking down this road, and I'm carrying a lion skin. And I was very happy walking down. It was very bright and nice, walking with a lion skin. All of a sudden, from behind me, I saw one male and female lion running towards me. I freaked out. I said, ooh, that's the BTTSF for me. And so in my dream, I had this fear. And then the male and female lion came to me and started attacking me. And I thought, okay, all I can do is this. I can just pretend and distract them until I can get away. So what I did is I opened up my lion skin like this. I was in front, and they attacked one bit this side, because they thought I was another lion. And they started biting and jerking. And I pushed them and pulled and pushed, pretending I was a lion. And then I pushed them into the ditch. And they fell in. And I looked in the ditch. They died. And then I walked a little bit up. I lost the skin. I had the skin. They died. And then I walked towards the house, and I woke up. And I woke up, no headache, no fever. I still have some neck pain, but no headache, no fever, and very happy and very bright. And I said, oh, I'm going to give a wonderful Dharma teaching today. Something about destroying the ego. No, I didn't think that, but now I realize. I don't know how auspicious. And it's rare. I never dream about lions. I never dream about animals. I don't even dream about my dog. In fact, all I ever dream about is robbing a bank and getting a lot of money and getting away with it. Thank you. And I have a few other dreams too. I don't know what it really means, what it portends, but it was happy. It was very, very nice. Anyways, we had a wonderful session. The next session, you guys give me your time. Today is only 2 a.m. Thank you. Sorry. It's all your fault because you wanted to start it. You wanted to go on. You got me going on this emptiness trip and with all your silly questions, but I'm not really clear. I'm not. Just kidding. See, with people who ask the right questions, you give the right answers. So you have to think, and you have to have the knowledge to even ask questions. Those who ask questions mean they're thinking. Those who actually ask questions that are very deep means they're thinking on that level. Those who don't even ask questions, they may be thinking, they may not be, I cannot judge, but asking questions is very, very good. Why? You have to think to ask. You have to think. So anyway, I'm very happy to have these 2 evil people here asking me questions and trying to stump me. It didn't work again. They're being paid by the heretics to dethrone me. What heretics? I don't know. They've been paid. We'll give you $1 million if you can ask him a question he doesn't know. They're saying, oh God, I need that money, I need that money, I need that money. See, he got so desperate, he started asking about money. See? That was good. We had a wonderful session. I enjoyed it tremendously. You guys are beautiful, but we can get enough of beauty too. I know you think about that about me too, but never mind. The next session for this, please, you make your time. You let me know. I'll accommodate. Unless the lions get to me this time, I will be here or be square. Where there's no Dharma, after this session on this is quite auspicious. Could you touch this on people's heads very gently and recite Om Arabhazana Di? Om Mani Padme Hum. May the teachings go into your mind. May even understanding the teachings release you from samsara so you can practice it. If you don't understand the teachings, whatever I taught, may it plant seeds in your mind to understand it in the future. May be the causes for you to reach liberation and cut the grasping at the self-cherishing mind that does not exist, that is only imputed. May you realize shunyata. Om Arabhazana Di, 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 Om Arabhazana Di. Om Arabhazana Di, Om Arabhazana Di, Om Arabhazana Di, Om Arabhazana Di, Om Arabhazana Di. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom and compassion of one. Illuminate darkness closed in my mind. Enlighten my intelligence and wisdom so that I gain insight into Buddha's words and texts that explain them. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom and compassion of one. Illuminate darkness closed in my mind. Enlighten my intelligence and wisdom so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and the texts that explain them. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom and compassion of one. Illuminate the darkness closed in my mind. Enlighten my intelligence and wisdom so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and the texts that explain them. I bow down to you, Manjushri, with the brilliance of wisdom and compassion of one. Illuminate the darkness closed in my mind. Enlighten my intelligence and wisdom so that I may gain insight into the Buddha's words and texts to explain them. Within that stupa contains the robes of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, the robes of His Holiness Trijang Rinpoche, the robes of His Holiness Khenche Pabongka Rinpoche, the hair and ashes, thank you, the hair and ashes of His Holiness, you too. The hair and ashes of His Holiness Khenche Song Rinpoche. It also has mantras and chakras made by Khenche Song Rinpoche himself, and has precious relic pills from Genima and various high lamas, and the very pills and prayer beads from His Holiness, from His Great Eminence Genima Rinpoche. Has many precious items from very high lamas. So the purpose we put this is, that's their mind. So when we put on your head is when we receive something holy and very powerful. Put this on your head is to seal those teachings in you so that what you realize, may it grow. Where there is no Dharma, may there be Dharma. Where there is Dharma, let it increase. And when there's a misunderstanding of Dharma, let it become clear. So when we made that prayer, it isn't a physical Dharma growth, it's also in here. Where there is no Dharma, let it be the Dharma. Where there's Dharma, let it grow. Where there's a misunderstanding of Dharma, may we take the responsibility to make it clear. Daso. Janchu. If you study well, you can be a very good Dharma teacher in the future. Don't forget what I said. That will help many people. Chujabo. Gewandi. 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 Gangri Rebe. May I myself become Hiroka for the sake of all living beings and lead all of them to Hiroka supreme state. If I do not change this, if I do not attain this supreme state, at the time of death. Very good. Today was a extremely, I don't know, exciting session. I don't know why. I feel very excited right now. I feel excited. I'm tingling, except for my neck because it's a little numb. But it's exciting. It's tingling, and I felt it a great joy and great honor and great happiness to talk about Dharma to all of you tonight. And I feel the energy is very strong, although it's very late. And I don't know. There was great joy in speaking about the Dharma to all of you. It was great joy in watching you receive it, and it was great joy for some of you to plant the seeds of Dharma in your mind. And I hope that what I taught tonight, especially tonight's teachings, that you guys will get the CD and listen to it another 5 to 6 times and let it go in and in and in. Because tonight's talk will be a very good reference point for you in the future, for your personal practice, for you to continue your practice, and also for you to be a benefit to others. Tonight's teaching will be a very strong reference point. And remember what I said. Don't make any more excuses for not engaging in Dharma practice in any way, shape, or form. Engage in Dharma practice so that we can use our life in the utmost highest purpose to be of tremendous benefit to others in the ultimate sense. All right? Che pu means immediate, pu means ultimate. So Trepu will be immediate and ultimate benefit to other people. Trepu ki pento. All right, in Tibetan. So think like that. Give generously to the Dharma. Make the Dharma spread within yourself and others. Be effervescent and extremely happy and awake and alive and energetic to bring the Dharma to yourself and others. Why? Only the Dharma can bring you ultimate happiness. Ultimate happiness, only Dharma. There's no other way. Do not escape from yourselves anymore. Face yourselves and do the Dharma. It'll be excellent. It'll be excellent. You'll have no regrets. No regrets at all. No regrets. And then you won't never ask yourself this question ever again. Never. Wonderful. So the next time you guys want to have this Dharma talk, let me know. Just give me the time, and I will be there. And today we got a lot of information. And the CD, tonight's CD, I don't know, we cover so many things. What should we call it? Did I ask you? Go ahead. What do you think? Oh, too long. Your titles reflect you. He doesn't have this thing called breathlessness at all. Okay, let me think. Why don't we call it more empty words. ... That's it. And then on the back, you can write a description. Talks about offerings. He talks about the substances, what the gold and silver, the differences. He talks about doing media work. He talks about writing. He talks about how writing can help Dharma. You can do a description on the back, right? But on the front, just put more empty words. Isn't that wonderful? Because some of us do leave this room empty. We're like, well, I don't know what he was talking about. It's just empty words. And some of us actually gain a glimpse of emptiness. Isn't that fabulous? You like that title better? Too bad I do too. Whatever that means. You like all my bitchiness, huh? Of course you do, because you're pretty bitchy yourself. But you met your match, maybe better. Can you imagine? Mr. Hans here, I was silenced. It's the first time you don't... He looks like somebody trafficked, at the airport, you know what I mean? God, we give him some, I don't know, flags? Or I think you're a reincarnation of a stewardess. Exit to your left. I think that's what it is. That's why it keeps going like that. What do you think is a reincarnation of a stewardess from Air Malaysia? I don't know. Whatever. Good. You guys should do more Dharma work. You should get involved here and do more Dharma work. You'll have benefits. You may think, oh, what is he talking about? Mr. Accountant's thinking, but I can't fit in. I got to make more money. You just told me to make more money so I can donate to you. All right, if you can do that, that's fine too, but I want to see donations now. That's exactly what Mr. Accountant there is thinking about. But money. Time is money. Money is time. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's been thinking. Isn't it horrible? This guy's thinking, yeah, I'd like to be involved. Let me think how. Maybe I'll be the official question asker at every... Thank you very much. That job is already taken. Good. Pat, as usual, wonderful to see you in the back grinning away. Today wasn't too laughy, but you were able to absorb a lot. You learned a lot today, huh, Pat? I'm glad. So you're going to be my official events organizer in the future when I become a superstar Lama? Don't forget what you said. Good, I'm glad. I got my own events organizer now. I don't know, one goes out, another one comes in. Never mind, that was pretty evil, but I couldn't help myself. Some of you understand and some of you don't understand. That's German for understand, in case you don't speak German like I do. Okay, nein understand and ja understand. I know he's like German my foot. That sounds stupid, man. Yes, so some of you nein understand, but never mind. Understand, that's German. Like I said, one goes out, one comes in. Why be attached? Just let it flow. It's like a show. Yes, sir. What's that? Are you intrigued by Mr. Accountant himself? No, not at all. He's not intriguing at all. Can I call you John Wayne? Can I call you John Wayne? I think you're his reincarnation. Never mind. Next time I do a Marlboro commercial, I'm going to get you in it. Go ahead. Isn't she great? I'm hanging on. Mm-hmm. But it's just automatic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, good, you're on my side. I thought it was against me. Oh, go ahead, keep talking. Everybody, please, a round of applause. I was so scared. I thought she was trying to, like, I'm going to get it again. I was thinking, oh, no. Okay, she's on my side. Hello? Listen to her. Her name is Pat Lu Rinpoche. Now listen. Yeah. You know how you connect that, Pat? You connect that because when you say ego and the fear of giving and letting go, it comes from what? Our imputation that this has some value. And then because it's imputed, when we remove the causes by wisdom, then when the causes are removed, that imputation is removed. When that imputation is removed, we let go. So letting go and ego, there's a bridge there. There's a process there. So that's what we talked about through this whole time. The ego, the self-cherishing mind, the ego, the id, okay, the id, and giving. That's that threshold. And people who are very miserly, who cannot give, they haven't crossed that threshold. But to hear these teachings is like lighting a candle in a very dark room. It doesn't illuminate the whole room, but it adds some light. You understand? So another thing is, that's very good. Another thing is, Giving, we feel we're losing. But if we believe in the law of cause and effect, and we really have refuge, and it's not fake, we are not afraid to give, because we believe in the cause. We believe in the law of cause and effect. Where we give, we definitely get. So even on a very fundamental basis, if we don't have high realizations, if we really commit to karma, then giving doesn't offer any fears to us at all. Those who have taken refuge and claim they believe in Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha, and they believe in the laws of cause and effect, which is a fundamental practice of Buddhism, and yet they cannot give, they're contradicting themselves. That's on a very fundamental level. Do you understand that? Not even a higher level. Why? In giving, you think you lose. But how can you lose if you believe in the law of cause and effect, karma? How can by giving you lose? So even a very simple meditation for people who are attached to wealth or what they have. Wealth doesn't mean millions of dollars. It can be they have just one house and a few $1,000s they're attached. So meditating on that, karma itself can counter that for normal people. You agree with that, Pat? Very good. Very, very good. I like you here. You know why? You're somebody who can actually absorb the teachings and listen and think about it. I like that. I don't want a bunch of, idiot people sitting around just saying, whatever I say, hail Rinpoche, yes, hail, yes, Rinpoche's right. I hate all that. Why? You don't get anywhere. You just follow along. You have to understand it. And so that's the way we present Dharma. By giving, you don't lose. By giving, you lose. By giving, you lose samsara, you lose. By giving, you don't lose nirvana, you don't lose. So what do you choose to believe? Buddha or yourself? Very, very simple. So we have to come to that threshold. We have to come to that crossroad and say, I'm going to pick Buddha and karma and go all the way. Not 6:30, not halfway, all the way. And then you'll see things change. Definitely you'll see things change. Definitely. Good, very good.